Oh my gosh, dude. That is the closest race I've ever had. Guys, what's up? Welcome to Skrrt Garage. Today I've got an awesome little drag race for you. It's gonna be this right here, a 2012 C63 Black Series versus a nice 2013 C63 Sedan Performance Pack. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard that the Performance Pack variant of this W204 C63 has the exact same internals, intake as the Black Series car, and a lot of people seem to believe that those two cars are very similar in performance. So what I have for you is a complete review of this Black Series racing that 2013 C63. We're gonna do some interior clips, we're gonna do some exhaust clips, and I've got a special bonus for you. The C63, the 2013 sedan, we're gonna run that one stock, in its stock format against this stock Black Series, and then we're gonna tune it with a Eurocharged tune, and we're gonna see if that tuned version can beat this C63 Black Series. So let's get started with this video, and if you guys are stopping by for the first time, please don't forget to give this a big old thumbs up, hit subscribe, and the little notification bell next to it so you can be alerted each and every time I make a new drag race, car review, whatever kind of video. All right, let's get started. Guys, I think that this video is going to be very interesting, so stick with me while I explain why. This is a stock 2012 Black Series. It has 510 horsepower. It makes that at 6,800 RPM, but it can rev out to 72. It makes 457 foot-pounds of torque, and it weighs 1,710 kilograms. Now, the car that it's going to be going up against is a 2013 C63 Sedan Performance Pack. That car makes 480 horsepower, which is 30 less than the Black Series, at the same 6,800 RPM. It makes 443 foot-pounds of torque at the exact same place where the Black Series does. However, what's interesting is both of these cars, the Black Series and the Performance Pack, they both share the exact same forged internals, and you can tell because of the intake manifold on these cars. Both have that kind of dark gray intake manifold that signals that both of them have, like I said, those lightweight forged internals to make them strong. Now, before you guys go saying, okay, well that's a Black Series, it's got a wing on, it's got so much carbon fiber, blah, 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 it has to be so much lighter. It's not. The Black Series is literally 44 pounds lighter than that big sedan. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are saying, well, how is that possible? It's possible because when they made this Black Series, they had to add bigger rotors, bigger tire, bigger suspension, all these go fast parts that end up adding a lot of that initial weight that they cut out of the car. Now, what I have planned today is jump inside and look at the interiors, really see if there's a $50,000 premium, because right now, the cheapest Black Series you'll be able to find is about 80 grand in the United States. Whereas you can find those performance packs all day long in between 20 and 30 grand. So we're gonna jump in the interior of these cars and see if there's a $50,000 premium there. After that, we will be doing a exhaust comparison against the completely stock performance pack sedan against this Black Series. And the Black Series has one aftermarket modification. It has a Krapovich full titanium exhaust. It's very hard to pick up on camera, but it sounds incredible, guys. So you have to listen to that. After we get done with those short little things, we'll then do a set of drag races, standing starts, and rolling races. This car in its stock form versus the C63 Performance Pack in its stock form. After that, what we're gonna do is tune the Performance Pack car using the Eurocharged tune, and we're gonna bump that baby up to 540 horsepower and 495 foot-pounds of torque. That's a healthy 40 foot-pounds of torque more than the Black Series, and a very healthy 30 horsepower more than the Black Series as well. We'll run the standing starts and the drag races again, and we'll see if there's a notable difference, and probably watch the Performance Pack run away from this car. Anyways, let's get started with all this fun stuff, guys. Okay, so if you open up the Black You step down, you definitely see the nice carbon fiber, red stitching. These have the same kind of coupe seats that come in the standard C63. They do have red seat belts, which is kind of cool. Red stitching on the Alcantara steering wheel. This obviously has the performance media, first time offered on a AMG Black Series car. Also has Alcantara over here, little badge over that way, and all of the American cars have the moonroof option. So we're looking. All right, if we open up the standard, you also have carbon fiber, which is pretty cool. Come this way, same thing. You also have the Alcantara steering wheel. Difference being there is no performance pack or AMG media. It also has this carbon fiber trim, which is nice. I do really like these seats. These are some of the most bolstered heavy standard seats you can think of. I had these on my original 2013 C63 that I had as well. Very cool. What did you think on the sound?
Much deeper. You would not probably hear it on the camera, but definitely a very vicious roar versus this one is much more, a little bit more raspier, but it's the stock exhaust. They both sound great. It really just depends on what you prefer, really.
When you're in the car, which is louder? As you're driving around?
Definitely your car
this
right
car?
now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This one, you know, has both the cats in it and the resonator, so
right.
It's really quiet driving around town, and you really have to get on at high RPMs to really hear the beauty of the V8.
For sure. I'm only asking just because the last time I did a exhaust comparison with this, it just did not do it justice at all. You can't pick it up. Like the frequency of the bass, it's just it's too low for any camera to pick up. It takes away a lot of the bass. I think the audio thinks that it's like background noise or distortion or something. I don't know, but it's really loud. It just doesn't come across on camera.
bit far ahead.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit far ahead.
Okay.
Dude,
I may have short-shifted on the third gear, but that was really close.
that was really freaking close. Oh my gosh. Woo!
Yep.
Guys, what did you think of those races? How crazy was that? I've never ever had a drag race be that close. It probably wasn't apparent on camera, but we got to some serious speeds. They were so close that we just kept watching each other the whole way through these gears, and we kept ripping them off. And before I knew it, I was going to $150, and I looked over to see him edging back at me. It was insane. Let's talk about it real quick. First off, let's talk about the non-tuned races. So when the standard performance pack was racing the standard Black Series. Well, what happened is kind of what we thought would happen, right? You know, the Black Series, it's a tad bit lighter. It's got more revs. It can rev, you know, 400 RPM more. It's got, you know, 30 more horsepower. So this car should have won, and it didn't. It won pretty convincingly, right? So that was obviously fun to see. And even though this thing really struggles to get off the line, it also won on those standing starts, which is awesome considering these tires desperately need to be replaced. They have no grip in them. Now let's talk about the tuned races. That was the most intense, closest races I've ever had on this channel. I could not believe it. We kept watching each other as we were going down, and you know, I was watching him, he was watching me. We kept ripping off the gears, and before we knew it, we were doing 150 bucks looking at each other, and he was crawling me back. It was wildly, wildly close. Does that Eurocharged tune make a difference? Yes, absolutely. It really makes me want to get one on this car. You know, I want to preserve it, you know, being completely stock because it is a rare car, but I'm very, very, very tempted to do so now, especially seeing how that thing would take off. When we were in gear, you know, we started all these drag races going about 30 miles an hour in second gear, and so we're pretty low in the RPM range. We're going about 3,000 RPM. And every time we took off, it always seemed like he would jump out about a half car, either a half car or at least a few feet. And I think it's because that Eurocharged tune makes about 40 torque more under the curve. And that's important because what that kind of does is it works throughout the gear. You know, when you start at 2,000 RPM, you run it all the way up to your 7 grand and then you shift it. And then once you shift it, you never go below 5,000 again. And if you guys know dyno graphs, there's a crossover point. And that crossover point where you stop using torque and you start using horsepower is about 5,200 RPM. So once you shift gears and you're really pinning it, you never get to use that torque again. But what's really interesting is that beginning of the race, when he would always step out, I think it's because his car had that extra torque from the Eurocharged tune. Very interesting. What's more interesting is the way that our cars are geared. After that initial acceleration of the first gear, I felt like I could extend my gears out a little bit longer, or maybe it's just the way that this thing shifts, maybe it shifts a little bit quicker. I don't know, but it always seemed like when I shifted gears, you know, I always could jump back or claw back just a little bit. And all the way through second and all the way through third, I always won. But what's wildly interesting is if one of us messed up a shift, if we happened to shift a little bit early, or we bogged, we got too high up in it and it kind of cut back the revs, the other person came by. So a lot of it had to do with the driver. If you short shifted, you probably lost that race. Another thing that was extremely interesting was that last race, the race where he crawled me back. Right when I shifted into fourth, you kind of hear me say, no. Oh no! I short shifted it. I lost about 300 RPM because we were going so fast and I kept looking over and watching him.
Too soon, Junior.
And so I think that really hurt me. And if it wasn't that, then I was talking to the performance pack owner. If it wasn't that, it might have been the big wing out back. Because when you're going above, you know, 150 bucks out there, I keep saying bucks because you guys know why. When you go that fast, I do start to wonder if the aero on this car is holding it back. Because all the way through second and all the way through third, I definitely outperformed him and I stayed out ahead of him. But that sleek design of the sedan, I know it has less drag and I definitely know it doesn't have a big old wing out the back. So I think that also might have helped it claw back. And if it's not that, I do know that torque wins races, especially when you start going really fast. So maybe it is the Eurocharged, I don't know. But that one race where he did come back at me at the very last bit of it, very interesting. I'm extremely impressed. What it makes me want to do with this car is put better tires on it so it can actually launch. Right now, it's got 305s and somehow it still kept spinning them up. It really desperately needs Michelin Pilot 4S tires. They're my favorite tires. So Michelin, if you're watching this, please hook a boy up. The other thing it makes me want to do is tune this girl. I mean, I go back and forth like I was saying earlier. It'd be really interesting to have that power to see what it would do to the Black Series, because it'd be kind of nice to run these again, this thing now being tuned, because for it to be even somewhat comparable when they're stock and they weigh about the same, the other one's supposed to make 540, very, very interesting. Anyways, I nerded out for the last like 5-10 minutes, guys. I'm sorry. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. What I wanted to do is bring something a little bit more informative, more factual, more interesting, kind of real world specs, not just a dyno graph in some crazy humid state in the United States or in Vietnam, wherever. I want this to be somewhat factual and I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to subscribe. Give this a big old thumbs up. It really means a lot to me. It helps me feel like I should keep making these videos. That's gonna do it for me here at Skrrt Garage. Like I said, thank you for watching this video. Have a great day. See ya.